Hello and welcome to News 9. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti, joined by Abhishek Paul to discuss the big match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings in IPL 2022. It has been a very disappointing ride so far for CSK, but for RCB, under Faf du Plessis, they can go atop points table if they win tonight. So it's a big day for both RCB and CSK, because CSK would also want to break that winless run so far, right, Abhishek?
I mean, not every day you find CSK at the bottom of the table, and that has been the case this time. No wins in 4 matches, and simply nobody in the CSK lineup looks inspiring enough, to boost the team, into the top half of the table. Of course, they have to start somewhere, this recovery, and today might be the day. It's a tough ask, RCB has been doing really well. Dinesh Karthik, Wanindu, Hasaranga, they have been playing really well. Even Anuj Rawat have been, giving the teams a great start. While Ruturaj Gaikwad has struggled for CSK, Anuj Rawat, clearly he replaced Devdutt Padikal's. He took Devdutt Padikal's place really well. So, all in all, RCB looks like a oiled machine. CSK not so much.
Absolutely, and that is where the onus will be on Chennai Super Kings to punch above their weight and get that win. We saw Sunrisers Hyderabad doing so as they defeated Gujarat Titans to seal their second victory. But can CSK do that? Let us know what you think. Can CSK register their first win after 4 straight defeats, or whether RCB will go atop the points table? Drop down your comments in the comment section and we'll read out the best of them. And for the fantasy players, Abhishek, this will be a big headache, because you have in one side you have MS Dhoni, Ravindra, Jadeja, Ruturaj Gaikwad, good players, and for RCB you have a power pack unit where starting from Virat, Faf, Anuj is also doing well, and the bowling attack, one of the best in this IPL. It is going to be a big headache for fantasy players.
I'm very tricky, because on one side, as you mentioned, there is a team RCB. There are so many players who are in form, and the fantasy, those who indulge in fantasy leagues, they might be tempted to go after all the most of the fill their fantasy 11 with RCB players. But on the other hand, if they have to go for a high risk option, Chennai Super Kings, they have a plethora of options. Shivam Dube and the likes of MS Dhoni, Moeen Ali, all those players are there. And you can see on the screen the Bangalore likely 11, Faf du Plessis. Again, a former CSK player, and he has guided RCB so well. He has taken to captaincy like a fish takes to water. Anuj Rawat, again, a great start as opener. Virat Kohli, number 3. Glenn Maxwell and Dinesh Karthik. I think, they are the most power-packed middle-order batting lineup across all the other teams. Shahbaz Ahmed, great spinner and a great hitter of the ball too. David Willey, again an interesting overseas choice. Wanindu Hasaranga, he was bought for a lot of money by the RCB guys in the auction, and he has been repaying that faith. And then comes the 3 pacers, Siddharth Kaul. We are including Siddharth Kaul in the likely 11 because Harshal Patel, he has left the IPL by bubble because of a death in his family. And all these players, Akashdeep, Mohammad Siraj, Siddharth Kaul, they are also quite experienced especially Siraj and Kaul, quite experienced in IPL, in domestic cricket. So CSK should better watch out for this team.
Absolutely, and there's going to be one major addition in this team. Maybe he will take the field tonight in the playing 11. That is Josh Hazelwood. He is also available for selection, and maybe he will replace David Willey. And for Siddharth Kaul, they can bring in another all-rounder sort of a player to increase their batting depth. But such a good side, and Josh Hazelwood is going to bolster this pace attack, which is already so good so far. Mohammad Siraj has been, although expensive a couple of times, but he has phenomenally led this RCB bowling attack, and Akashdeep has also come and taken the IPL very easily. He is a good bowler from Bengal, and has been doing so well so far in this IPL. But Josh Hazelwood's inclusion in this bowling attack, where you have Hasaranga, where you have Siraj and Akashdeep as well, it's going to be a good battle between RCB's bowler and CSK's batting unit. Let's take a look at CSK's likely 11 as well. Will they make changes? Will they make some big changes into their squad after 4 straight defeats? Ravindra Jadeja is the captain. Robin Uthappa has been opening with Ruturaj Gaikwad, Moeen Ali at 3. Then you have Ambati Rayudu at 4. Ravindra Jadeja has promoted himself in the batting order, but has not done really well so far. Shivam Dube, their only spark in that batting unit, who has fired consistently in this tournament so far. And then you have the veterans MS Dhoni and Dwayne Bravo, and then Chris Jordan, Mukesh Chaudhary, and Dwayne Pretorius. They have gaps in this 11, right, Abhishek?
Definitely. I mean, the biggest gap starts right at the top. You know, Ruturaj Gaikwad, he was their top scorer. In fact, he was the top scorer of IPL 2021. He is yet to fire, and that is a major problem. You know, if Ruturaj Gaikwad can get going, you know, I think half of the CSK's problem will be over, because you get a good start with Ruturaj Gaikwad. Then guys like Shivam Dube, MS Dhoni, they can get you those big shots. Robin Uthappa, of course, he's scoring those early runs, you know, going for... in every other match, he's playing that cameo role. Moeen Ali comes in. He has been also brilliant. I think if main linchpin, if I have to pick, it's Ruturaj Gaikwad. His good performance today can just turn the tide for CSK.
Absolutely, and CSK are coming after a major setback. Deepak Chahar has also been ruled out of IPL 2022, so that's a big blow, because all the CSK fans, even the CSK playing members, were waiting for Deepak Chahar to recover well, but unfortunately he has sustained a back injury at the NC and is completely out of the IPL 2022, and it remains to be seen whether he is back in the contention for T20 World Cup. But it is going to be very tough for Deepak after missing the IPL. But a huge setback for Chennai Super Kings, as they still look to get their first win of the IPL 2022. But definitely, Abhishek, RCB are going into this match as favourites.
They are the favourites. You know, they have 6 points in the table. They can go to the top of the table. You know, CSK are not at all in form, but you can never count CSK out. But despite saying that, you know, I mean, RCB looks like the better of the options. You know, CSK has players like Ambati Rayudu. They have experience in MS Dhoni. Ravindra Jadeja is also really great. You know, but somehow things are not gelling together for them. You know, somehow they are not more than the sum of their parts. You know, I mean, Dwayne Bravo, he is the topmost wicket taker in IPL, right? I mean, you have guys like Mukesh Chaudhary, who has been expensive, but then he has been among wickets also. You have a world-class all-rounder in Moeen Ali, but then still somehow that has not converted. They have not been able to convert into wins for 4 straight matches. You know, mind you, all the teams will have to play 14 group games, you know, before they qualify for the playoffs. And going by the trend of last 2-3 years, you know, you need at least 7 to 8 wins, to finish in the top 4 of the points table. So basically, it leaves CSK in a position where they have to win at least 7 to 8 games of the remaining 10 games, which is a very tough task.
Absolutely, and if Chennai Super Kings lose today, then it will be the first time ever that they have lost 5. They will lose 5 straight matches in IPL. Back in 2010, they had lost 4, but then it was a miraculous comeback from that spot. But after 5 defeats in a 10-team tournament, I think it is going to be nearly impossible for Chennai Super Kings to recover from if they lose tonight.
True. I mean, you know, because other teams, like new teams, in fact, I mean, commendable effort being put by teams like Gujarat Titans and Lucknow Super Giants. You know, you find them in the top half of the table. And teams like KKR, though they lost their last match, you know, they have been playing really well. Rajasthan Royals,
Punjab.
I mean, somehow, you know, the firepower both in the batting and bowling, somehow this time, at least for this year, you know, it doesn't look like happening for CSK. Of course, you know, for SRH also, people said the same thing, but they have back-to-back, they have won 2 matches. Somehow, at least 1 or 2 players, they need to perform out of the skin, you know, like CSK for SRH, you know, Kane Williamson, he did really well. Nicholas Pooran did really well. Their bowlers did really well. You know, somebody needs to step up for CSK. You know, if they're the defending champions, and there's no way a defending champion, a 4-time IPL champion, lies in the bottom of the table. More than bottom of the table, they are yet to win a match, and so far, nobody apart from Shivam Dubey, I don't think anybody has looked like a match winner in their team. You can have a look at the points table. The top half, RR, KKR, RCB, LSG, GT, all on 6 points. Only the run rate separates them. And then there's the lower half where we find CSK right at the bottom. They're negative run rate. That's also an issue. Minus 1.211. DC, the DC, PBKs, SRH, though in the bottom half of the table, they can very well expect to go in the top half. Absolutely. They just need 1 or 2 wins. But CSK and MI definitely too much to catch up on. Too much.
Absolutely. And who would have thought that 5-time IPL winners and 4-time IPL winners will find themselves not on the top of the table, but
I mean, between those last two positions, you have 9 IPL titles, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a sham that they have not yet won a match.
Absolutely, and that is where the entire hierarchy of the mega auction kicks in. Let's move to the Fantasy 11. All our fantasy cricket experts, drop down your comments below and let us know which player do you think will score the maximum number of points, and if you want to catch up quality videos not only related to IPL but from the other sporting actions going around in the world, do subscribe to News9 Sports on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, type News9 Sports, and you will get our channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button, so that you don't miss any content that we are creating for you guys. So let's move to Fantasy 11, Abhishek. The captaincy, so many superstars here. The captaincy was a bit of a hiccup for us, but we went with the Sri Lankan spin genius as our captain, Wanindu Hasaranga. What a form! What form he has catch up in this IPL. Terrific bowler.
I mean, it's always judicious, to pick a all-rounder as your captain. If he fails with the bat, he can of course perform with the ball, and with the form that Wanindu Hasaranga is in, he is definitely a top pick. In fact, he has taken in his last 14 T20 appearances, he has taken 19 wickets at an economy of 7.50. He is the leading wicket taker of RCB. There's no way that he does not deserve the captaincy spot. Though, as we progress, we'll talk about other players. Maybe I sort of have a different opinion. I think you should always go for a high-risk thing to get maximum returns. Maybe we can go with Dinesh Karthik also as the captain. He is impactful. In the consistency that he has seen, of course, he doesn't bowl. So you are taking that risk that if he doesn't perform with the bat, then your punt doesn't work. With Hasaranga, that is not the case. But still, if you want to go with a high-risk captain, Dinesh Karthik might be a great option.
Let's put Dinesh Karthik in our Fantasy 11 then. What a sensational turnaround this has been for Dinesh Karthik. I mean, the best finisher in this IPL so far?
Best finisher in this IPL, no doubt. I mean, in every match, I was going through his stats. In every match, his strike rate is almost 200 or above 200. For a number 4 or number 5 batter, it's brilliant. His wicket keeping has also been brilliant. I think 2 matches back he said how he played in lower league tournaments. Also played for India Cements in a T20 league in Tamil Nadu, and how he prepared for it. And he has been getting his returns. He was picked up for, I think, 5.5 crore rupees by RCB. Many said that after 2 disappointing seasons for KKR, maybe he also took the commentary job. People were joking about him, like how does a commentator fit into a playing
part-time cricketer?
But he has justified, more than justified his role, more than justified his price.
Absolutely, and that's what makes Dinesh Karthik one of our options as your high-risk captain in Fantasy 11. Let's move to another RCB player, another RCB middle-order batter, another all-rounder in Glenn Maxwell. What a performer he has been in T20 cricket, the big show of T20 world, and sensational player, absolutely.
I mean, last IPL, the top 10 run getters, if you see in IPL 2021, he was the only middle order batter. That impact he had in RCB. In fact, the talk was whether he should be made RCB's captain or not. Of course, Fab du Plessis was brought in, and Glenn Maxwell again, safe bet. You can never. I mean, in Fantasy 11, you have to keep players like Wanindu Hasaranga and Glenn Maxwell. Even if they don't pick up wickets, they can score runs. If they don't score runs, they can take they can enforce great runouts, great fielding efforts. So all in all, they are three-dimensional players, multi-role players, and they will always give you good returns.
Absolutely, and Glenn Maxwell, even if it doesn't perform with bat and ball, he's a live wire on field.
True,
we saw that
true.
run out in the last match, his first in IPL.
I mean, why not keep him in the vice captain also?
Yeah, you can. That's captaincy and vice captaincy. It's all about instinct.
Yeah,
so the majority of today's fantasy 11, it is going to be dominated by RCB players, given their sensational run of form and CSK's dismal form as well. So we'll take a look at our next player as well, and let's see who it is for you guys. It is none other than Plessis, the captain, another RCB player, former CSK player, now in RCB camp leading this side. He has not fired all cylinders so far, Abhishek, but definitely a consistent pick to have, a safe bet to have in your fantasy.
He's a safe bet, you know. He has got the experience. He has the cool head, you know. He's leading the team at the top of the order. He's doing really well with Anuj Rawat, and you know, it's kind of odd, you know. 4 players were picked, all are from RCB, but there's no way you can keep this guy also out. You know, he has been really great. I don't know. Maybe high risk option would be not pick him and pick Ruturaj Gaikwad, take our punt again on Ruturaj Gaikwad for hoping that he'll perform today. But going by the form, the safe bet would be Fab du Plessis. The high risk option would be Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Absolutely, and another favorite player of this match is going to be a big one. For our fantasy 11, it's going to be another RCB player, but he's the former captain of RCB and the Indian team as well. We are talking about Virat Kohli. He's our next player in the fantasy 11. You can never keep him out of the 11, right? He's going to be one of the first picks, and maybe a captaincy option for all the Virat Kohli fans. He has been in good form, scoring 40s, 30s. So safe bet, another safe bet to have.
Yeah, I mean, interesting take. You know, you can have him as captain or vice captain because in all the matches, you know, he started really well. He was not fidgety. Of course, he had some soft dismissals, yes, but he's a good option, right, for captaincy or vice captaincy. One match he scores big. I mean, it's hard to ignore a guy like him, right? I mean, if any other guy scores 30, 40, maybe we could have still kept him out. But knowing by the potential of, Virat Kohli, he's again another safe option.
Absolutely, and today's match will be all about Virat Kohli versus MS Dhoni.
Wow, that's a battle.
2 former India captain coming in together on the field, and you know, when Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni are together, it's always magic on the field. And let's move to another player, our next player in the fantasy 11. He's a CSK player.
Finally, we have a CSK player.
We are coming back to CSK. It's Ambati Rayudu. Although again has not fired all cylinders, but definitely with the kind of form CSK batters are in, he's going to have a hit.
Yeah, Rayudu again is a high risk choice, you know, because Rayudu in 4 matches, he has scored 82 runs at an average of 20.50. His strike rate has also not been great, 96.47. But he is a high risk option. You can always keep him. He provides that solidity, in the middle order. Because there are so many RCB players, you know, I would have taken the name of Shahbaz Ahmed too, but there are so many RCB players. It's almost like we are again repeating the RCB likely 11 if we would have picked Shahbaz Ahmed. So you can keep Ambati Rayudu.
Ambati Rayudu was our player in our playing fantasy 11. Let's take a look at our next 11 as well. But don't forget to subscribe to News 9 Sports. That is where we are creating all the good content, not only from cricketing world but from other sports as well. So go to YouTube, type News 9 Sports and subscribe to our channel for all actions related to sports. Let's move to another player, another CSK player. An opener this time, the winner of Orange Cap in IPL 2021. We are talking about Ruturaj Gaikwad. Hasn't fired, but the kind of talent he has, he is going to be, he's going to get his form back at some point in time, right, Abhishek?
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, we can punt off him, right? Though we have now picked Fab du Plessis and Ruturaj Gaikwad, both great option, you know. I don't know, I mean, what has happened with him. He was so great, not only in the IPL 2021, but in Vijay Hazare Trophy, inside Mustaq Ali Trophy, he had gone. Maybe the pressure is getting to him. He needs to perform, and he needs to perform soon. He going by his form, he is a high risk option, definitely. But you can keep him.
Absolutely, and let's move to our next player as well. His opening partner, Robin Uthappa, has played a couple of great knocks.
True.
I mean, he was the standout players in a couple of CSK matches, although they lost. But Robin Uthappa, the kind of form, the kind of intent he's playing with, I think he's going to be a good choice to have in your fantasy 11, right, Abhishek?
True. Robin Uthappa is definitely a better pick in the fantasy 11 than Ambati Rayudu, according to me. Okay. So if I have the option, because we have picked 3 CSK players now, maybe we opt out of Ambati Rayudu, and maybe we include Shivam Dube there.
Absolutely.
Shivam Dube is the better performer. Robin Uthappa, great starts, 30-40, he is going really great. His strike rate is really great. In fact, his strike rate is, if I can point out, Robin
has been above 130, 140 in that zone.
It's above 150. It's 153.62. Robin Uthappa in 4 matches he has scored 106 runs. In fact, he is their second highest scorer. Wow. So you can definitely pick on Robin Uthappa. Shivam Dube is their top scorer, 112 runs in 4 matches with a strike rate of 157.74.
Impressive.
So maybe Robin Uthappa, Ruturaj Gaikwad, and in place of Ambati Rayudu, maybe you can have Shivam Dube.
Shivam Dube.
And he is an all-rounder, so you can give he can get you 1 or 2 wickets also.
Absolutely. So we have made that change. So Ambati Rayudu is out of our fantasy 11 and Shivam Dube is in our playing 11. But the final call remains with you. If you want to punt on Ambati Rayudu, then you
it's all about your instincts. Yes. Fantasy league. It's T20. It's the most fickle format of all. Maybe Ambati Rayudu, he's such an experienced player. There was a reason why CSK bid so big for him. They must have known something that we do not yet realize. But going by the form, Shivam Dube, being the all-rounder that he is, being the form that he is in, he has got more potential going by his current form than Ambati Rayudu.
Absolutely, that's why we have made that change. Let's move to the bowling part of our fantasy 11. We'll take a CSK bowler first, and he has been impressive so far with his variations. We are talking about Dwayne Pretorius. Although CSK has struggled in the bowling department, they are not getting consistent wickets up front, in the power play, in the middle order, and even in the death overs. But Dwayne Pretorius has been their standout bowler, right, Abhishek?
Yeah, I mean, he has a strike rate of 12, right? I mean, he has picked
excellent.
4 wickets in 2 matches. The starts that he has been getting, his economy is also really great, 7.62 in T20s. It's a great economy, and for an overseas pace bowling option, I would definitely pick him, because on the other side, RCB doesn't have really good options in the pace bowling department, overseas pace bowling department. So out of the 2 teams, Dwayne Pretorius looks like a safe bet. I'll go with him.
Maybe Josh Hazelwood is
if he comes in,
if he comes in, yes.
Because
you have slot for RCB players.
Yeah, so that the uncertainty is there. So maybe whether he'll play or not, Dwayne Pretorius, because he's in great form, he'll definitely play. So he is a good option.
Absolutely, and if you were wondering that we have missed Moeen Ali in our fantasy 11, then we have not, because he's our next player in the 11 and also our vice captain in this fantasy 11 between CSK versus RCB.
True.
Their best bet to Abhishek, to get their form back, to get their winning, to get back to winning ways. I think Moeen Ali needs to fire and has played a couple of good cameos so far at number 3.
I mean, Moeen Ali was the reason RCB had that solidity last season. He was economical with his bowling. He was great with his batting at number 3, 4. He's an all-rounder. Again, having all-rounders in your fantasy 11 always helps, because that way, you can get returns on both sides. You have the chance of getting returns from both side multi-role players, and Moeen Ali. We have been seeing in the middle overs, how spinners, guys like Yuzvendra Chahal, Ravi Vishnu, they have been economical. He was economical in IPL 2021, and we can't really keep him out. Wanindu Hasaranga, another all-rounder and a great spinner of the ball. Moeen Ali, those 2 are great options.
Absolutely, that's why we have not ignored Moeen Ali. All you CSK fans, we'll take a look at the final player of our CSK versus RCB Fantasy 11, and let's see who it is, and it is the highest wicket taker of IPL in Dwayne Bravo. What a champion bowler, but he needs to fire. He needs to start picking up wickets as well, and maybe tonight is the day.
I mean, Dwayne Bravo, of course, he's the highest wicket taker of IPL. There's no reason you can, keep him out, right? I mean, but I would rather go with another Indian option, maybe Mohammad Siraj, maybe because the bounce that he gets, although his pace, most of the CSK batters, I was going through one stat. Ruturaj Gaikwad, his head-to-head record with Mohammad Siraj is really great, right?
Okay.
So that is one point which is really working against him. Dwayne Bravo, on the other hand, the main reason that he is in is he's an all-rounder, right? Though he's more in this 11 as a bowler, he can get those cameo shots, cameo innings, 6 ball 18, 6 ball 20.
Yeah.
So that really turns the match around. His batting is really great. He is economical also. So I would personally go with Mohammad Siraj, but Dwayne Bravo is a great option, experienced bowler. You can never count him out.
Absolutely, and that is why Dwayne Bravo is in our fantasy 11. That was the complete fantasy 11 for you guys. But don't forget to subscribe to News 9 Sports on YouTube and on other platforms as well. Here's our fantasy 11. Wanindu Hasaranga is the captain, but you can opt for other players such as Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell, Faf du Plessis, and from CSK camp as well. And
we have kept MS Dhoni out.
We have kept MS Dhoni out
because is that the state that MS Dhoni is in now?
Maybe, but Robin Uthappa is the wicket-keeping option for in the fantasy 11 at least. So he gets the nod in that place. But MS Dhoni, he bats deep. Most of the time he doesn't get to bat.
True.
So that's why we have kept out. No disrespect for the great man. But don't forget to subscribe to News 9 Sports on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, type News 9 Sports, and that is where we are bringing all the content for you guys. You can go to Twitter and Facebook as well, and go to News 9 Live and follow our social pages so that you don't miss any action when it comes to cricket and other sporting action in the world. And Abhishek, I'll put you on the spot before we wrap this show up. CSK, RCB, obviously RCB are the favorites, but is there a surprise or an upset on cards?
I always like to go with the high risk choice. I think today is the day when CSK will garner their maiden points with Moeen Ali top scoring for them.
Absolutely. Will former CSK player give them, now the RCB captain, hand them their first win of IPL 2022? It remains to be seen. But yes, that is it from our show. But if you want to watch our IPL preview where we'll discuss CSK versus RCB in Hindi, तो फिर आ जाइए 6:30 हम लोग मिलेंगे TV9 भारतवर्ष में एंड यूपी उत्तराखंड TV9 के YouTube चैनल में एंड सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स में भी, जहाँ पे हम लोग प्रीव्यू करेंगे CSK और RCB का. बहुत बड़ा मुकाबला होने वाला है. धोनी और विराट कोहली साथ में नजर आएंगे. एंड इफ यू वांट टू कैच इट अप इन इंग्लिश देन एट 7 o'clock we'll be live on News 9 Sports and News 9 Live as well to preview the CSK versus RCB game. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining in, and that's it from this side. And don't forget to subscribe to News 9 Sports for all things sports. Thank you so much for watching.